The seminar aims to discuss specific measures to implement the BRICS Leaders Chairman Declaration and comes ahead of the 10th BRICS Summit in Johannesburg later this month. About 100 official representatives, mainly former dignitaries from BRICS members and think tanks, are in attendance. The event is taking place under the theme Contributing BRICS Wisdom to Global Governance in the Interest of the People. Topics of discussion include upholding multilateralism and promoting innovation in global governance. Emphasis is placed on BRICS' role in contribution to building a more equal and democratic international, political and economic order that will accelerate world development. Achieving inclusive economic growth in the fourth industrial revolution in the interest of the people, centered around the theme of collaboration for inclusive growth and shared prosperity. Participants will discuss sustainable development, trade, and the world economy during the fourth industrial revolution. Consolidating exchange and mutual learning mechanisms, sharing experiences in global governance. BRICS countries are the world's major emerging economies. They share similar development challenges and exchanging learning experiences to rejuvenate their states.
Well, for more on this story, we are now joined on the line by our correspondent, Yolisa Njamela, who is in Johannesburg for us. The buzzword at this symposium is good governance. What has been said there?
Absolutely, Karen. In fact, the theme, as it was rightly mentioned there in the introduction, is contributing BRICS' wisdom to global governance in the interest of the people. That is the major theme here as the leaders and think tank academics are discussing. In fact, as I was leaving, the speaker in the seminar, Mr. Shen Li, the Vice Minister of Chinese Academy of Governance, was delivering his speech, and he was emphasizing that the good cooperation between the BRICS countries, saying there's been major developments in terms of win-win cooperation between these countries. He also ventured into global issues and challenges, saying, you know, as risks are developing all around, like climate change, diseases, terrorism, cyber attacks, these are issues that need the BRICS countries to provide leadership. But he went on to emphasize more about how this seminar and the summit and the cooperation between the BRICS countries is people-centered. And the focus is that. And I quote him when he says, people are the main arbiters. They are the final judges, and they're the ones who must hold the leadership of these BRICS countries to responsibility and ensuring delivery, Karen.
And Yolisa, this is also a precursor to the main BRICS, which is taking place in a few weeks' time. Can you tell us more about the stakeholders in today's proceedings?
Well, there are over 100 speakers from the BRICS countries, and many of them are senior leaders. And as I already mentioned, think tanks as well. It's mainly discussions from early this morning. I'd like Karen to go back to the opening session, which I understand was one of the key aspects of this seminar, where Mr. Guomei Min, who's a member of leadership meeting of the CPC Publicity Department and Vice Minister of the State Council Information, also emphasized the issue of people. He, in fact, spent large part of his speech quoting President of China, President Xi Jinping, and I'd like to just bring that to our viewers, Karen, a bit of that. He says President Xi Jinping has formed deep and natural bonds with the people. He cares about the happiness and sadness, and in fact speaks for them. He goes on, he says, President Xi made a report at the 19th CPC National Congress in October last year, in which he mentioned the people more than 200 times. So while there are many discussions, Karen, here about varying issues, particularly governance issues, it would seem like people are the focus. People from these BRIC countries are the center of this discussion.
And lastly, how are preparations for the official BRICS summit going? What can we expect?
Well, I spoke to Minister Nomvula Mokonyana earlier today, who's the former communications minister of the South African cabinet, and she was telling me that there's a number of smaller events like seminars that are due to take place in this country, albeit, Karen, in various provinces. He didn't specify what is going to be taking place in the next week or so, but we will know in the next couple of days. But also, the preparations are well underway. In the Sandton Convention Center precinct, for instance, you can already see that a whole lot of preparations are underway and ready for that big leadership summit at the end of July.
Okay, thank you very much for that update. That was our correspondent Yulisa and Jamela there in Johannesburg following the symposium on BRICS.